and it's going to go all the way until Sunday, April 19th at 7 p.m. Central Time. So for all of the information and details related to that, you can visit TSPOTA, TSPOTA, Texas State Parks on the Air.org. It'll give you a list of all of the people who've already committed to work at Texas State Parks. Gives you an opportunity, if you want to work at a state park, you can set that up in the map so that people know to try and hunt you down there. So by all means, check that out, TSPOTA.org. I want to give our local clubs an opportunity, or all the clubs, anybody that has a ham radio related announcement that they'd like to share. Come now with your call sign, please. Let's take a minute and just say thanks to the ones who let us use their repeaters. First of all, Denton County Amateur Radio Association. The 146.92 megahertz repeater is a negative offset with a PL tone of 110.9. The AllStar node is 41087, and that's the repeater that I typically operate from because it's the closest to my house. Also, thank you to the Richardson Wireless Club over in Richardson, Texas. K5RWK. That repeater is 147.120 megahertz with a positive offset, PL tone of 110.9, and their AllStar node, if you'd like to tune in that way, is 47841. 47841. And the Aggies down at Texas A&M University, they allow us to use the W5 AC repeater. It is linked to us through AllStar. Their repeater frequency locally is 146.82 megahertz with a negative offset, and the PL tone of 88.5 and 110.9. And their AllStar node is 49382. And their AllStar node stays pretty active. We get a couple of guys that come in from England to participate every once in a while, so that's always a good thing. They're also available on their 443.050 repeater, positive offset with a PL tone of 88.5. and 110.9, and on their DMR repeater, it is 441.3625, has a positive offset with a color code 12, and talk group ID is 3167972. This weekend, earlier this week, the Lake Area Amateur Radio Club held their monthly club meeting, and their topic of conversation was digital mobile radio, DMR, and a very good presentation by Colin. N5GG did a really good job of sharing with us how that system works and how best to program and understand the talk groups and the color codes and all of the things that go with that. So we really appreciate him taking the time out to prepare that lesson and then share it with us in a club meeting. So very good. If you have a topic that you want to share at a club meeting, reach out to your local club and let them know, because clubs are always looking for people to make presentations and share their knowledge and information with others. So take that opportunity if that's something you have the ability to do. Other club-related announcements. So I have anybody from the Denton County Amateur Radio Association that has an announcement they'd like to make? Okay, nothing heard. I'll just go ahead and say February 23rd is going to be their next club meeting. They are held at the Denton County Administrative Courthouse. That's one courthouse drive. It's on the 3rd floor. So feel free to join for that. It's always got some good conversation and good topics to learn about there. So appreciate them for putting those meetings on and for allowing us to use the repeater. Coming up this week, Thursday, February 19th, the Denton County Amateur Radio Emergency Services Training Net is at 7:30 on this frequency. Well, I say on this frequency. It's on the 146.92 W5NGU repeater, and you can always tune in through AllStar at 41087. 41087 is that AllStar node. So for the Richardson Club, do I have anyone from the Richardson Wireless Club who'd like to make any announcements? Come now with your call sign. Okay, nothing heard, but I'll tell you on Wednesday afternoons at noon, the group gets together at Sunny Brian Smokehouse. That's at 1251 West Campbell Road in Richardson. It's right across the street from the University of Texas at Dallas campus, so if you're familiar with that. But again, that's Sunny Brian Smokehouse on Wednesdays at noon. This is KC5 AMT net control for the digitally speaking net. All right. So today's topic, I'm going to talk a little bit about the Denton County repeater system and how that works, talking about their remote receive sites, their AllStar connections, and the voter system, and how those pieces of the puzzle fit together, and then how that impacts net or radio etiquette. And then we'll talk about radio etiquette in general. And the topic or the question for the day is going to be, what is your ham radio pet peeve? So that should make for some really fun discussions. All right, let's go ahead. Well, let me talk about that. So the Denton County repeater system is a really robust system. It is connected through. It consists of a main terminal, and that's at the Texas Women's University campus. So that's where all of the outgoing signals originate. It also is augmented by a series of, 7 remote receive sites, and those sites are Roston, Frisco, Louisville, and Justin. And then we have 2 sites that are down and 1 site that's just portable in case we need it. The Salina site is down, and the Grapevine site is down, both of those for maintenance. The Salina site actually I'm hearing may be relocated to another location, and the Grapevine site is down for maintenance. So each of those sites that I mentioned is equipped with a receive radio tuned to the receive frequency for the 146.92 repeater. That signal that is received is then retransmitted through a UHF link back to the home site at TWU. So the remote receive site sends that signal back to the main site where there is a voter. And that voter receives all of those signals, and it makes a determination between all of those signals which one is the strongest or best signal to send back out on the output frequency. So that's how that works. Now, that takes a little bit of time. Not much, but it's enough time that sometimes if you quick key the repeater, then it'll clip off the first part of your conversation. So a lot of times you'll hear us say, hey, when you click the mic, you press the button, you take a deep breath, and you wait just a split second, and then you start speaking. That way the repeater has the opportunity, or the voter has the opportunity to hear all of those received signals, choose which signal it wants to use, and send that back out over RF. Also, we have an AllStar node connected to that. That comes in through, I believe, the Roston receive site, and then that goes back into the repeater as well. So it takes a little time for the computers to do all of their thinking and calculating to determine what the best signal is to send back out over RF. So when we tell you to press the push-to-talk button and wait just a second and then start speaking, that's the reason we do that, because we don't want to cut off that first part of our transmission. You'll hear a lot of times somebody say, oh, well, I caught the last 3 of your call sign, but I missed the first 3. A lot of times that's because of what we call quick keying. Okay, so the topic is going to be a lot about, we want to talk about radio etiquette, because we've seen some opportunities or places where there might be one practice that's best for a certain type of net, another practice that might be best for another type of net. Maybe you do a little different if you're contesting on HF or something like that. So let's take a little time, and I'm going to just start opening it up and let people talk about what are some of the things that they notice on the repeaters that could be done a little better. And then we'll just see where it goes from there. So let me go ahead and get started. Who would like to be our first check-in for the Digitally Speaking Net? Come now with your call signs.
Kilo India 5, Papa Romeo Kilo.
KI5, PRK. Good afternoon. How are you doing today?
Doing good, doing good. Just coming to you on AllStar from down here near Austin, Texas. But saw the live stream out there that Sean posted, so I thought I'd check into the net first time.
Oh, very good. Well, we're glad to have you with us. Yeah, that's something that Sean just started doing. I think he did it last week for us as well, to where he put the net to where it's up on his YouTube channel. So hopefully that will help him to get some good views and help us to get some good publicity for the net and bring in some new folks. So tell me, now, I went ahead and pulled you up using QRZ, and it says you're out of Hutto. So what kind of ham radio club do we have down there in Hutto?
Well, there's a couple of them. There's Williamson County Amateur Radio Club. I'm not a member, but they are down here. And there's Oak Hill down in Austin as well. I'm not really a member of any clubs. I just kind of do the online stuff and then just do a little bit of, solo radio operating, trying to learn that way. But I didn't have a great club experience here in Williamson County, so I kind of quit going to the meetings.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I hate to hear that there was a bad experience at a club meeting, but we do know that happens from time to time. So, all right. So, do you get on the repeaters very much down there in that area?
Yeah, Roger, I do from time to time. For whatever reason, most days our repeaters are pretty quiet down here for some weird reason. We've got like a 5 repeater link system here in Williamson County, but most of the time they're pretty quiet. There's a new ham net, I believe, on Monday nights, and that's about it unless we get into some severe weather. But other than that, I don't hear a lot on there. But admittedly, I still work for a living, so I don't have a ton of time to get on them. But when I do, it sounds pretty quiet.
I understand that. Yeah, it's funny because we have a tremendous number of repeaters here, and I'm up in the DFW Metroplex, and the number of repeaters that are very quiet is a little bit surprising, I guess, in a way, but at the same time, there are so many other modes of communication out there that a lot of times folks, they don't go to VHF or UHF to carry on conversations. They'll, use a more direct communication route. But I know a lot of times during the rush hour, we'll hear quite a bit of traffic early in the morning or in the afternoons between, say, that 4 and 5 o'clock time slot, 6 o'clock time slot, where you've got more folks commuting back and forth to work, where there'll be conversations. So anyway, well, very good. We're glad to have you join us. We're here every Sunday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so feel free to jump in. Most of our repeaters are on AllStar, so, here's a net that you might be interested in. I know you said you're still working for a living, but if you're out and about and it's an early afternoon, from 3 o'clock to 4:30 over on the K5LRK repeater, hold on a second. From 3 o'clock to 4:30 is the Five Hills net, and then also from 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock is what they call the happy hour net. So the Five Hills net actually comes from down there not far from where you are, down in the hill country. And anyway, but the AllStar node for that repeater is 47668. That's for the K5LRK repeater. That's in the Colony, just north of Dallas.
Roger. I just wrote that down. It's 47668 on AllStar. That I'll have to try and check into that from time to time. If maybe if it's daily, I usually try and work from home on Fridays, so maybe I can check in there on and at least listen in on Fridays.
There you go. That sounds like a plan. And yeah, that working from home on Fridays thing, that's always a good deal if you can score that from the employer. So, well, very good. Well, all right. Well, thank you very much for checking in. Oh, do you have a pet peeve for radio communications?
I don't think I do really. Other than all these repeaters around here and they're all quiet, that'd be my pet peeve. But we spend a lot of money, tens of thousands of dollars, to stand these things up, and then they sit quiet most days. But other than that, no, not really.
All right, very good. Well, thank you very much for checking in with us. We really do appreciate it. So go ahead and give us your call sign, and then we'll move on to the next one. You have a great day, and thanks again for tuning in.
Yep, this is Kilo India 5, Papa Romeo Kilo. Thanks so much for having me, and I'll keep listening.
All right, well, thank you very much. All right, who else would like to check in? Come now with your call sign.
Kilo KJ5 NYI, just tuning in.
Well, I do believe that was a pretty good double, but guess who won? How about Kilo Delta 5, Lima, Quebec Delta? How are you today?
I never know the answer to that one. I would have to do research on 8.2 billion other people on this planet, find out how they're doing, and throw myself into the mix and then average it all out, and then possibly come up with some ideas to how I'm doing.
I'm one of those that says upright and vertical is doing pretty darn good. So anyway, how are you? What have you got going on in your ham radio world? Tell me what's happening.
Oh, just yakety-yakking with people whenever I can, either on the 146.700 downtown Dallas, or this one, the Richardson 2-meter.
Okay, so you've got two repeaters that you use quite a bit. So we're talking about kind of radio etiquette and radio pet peeves. What kind of things get to you on the radio? What are your pet peeves?
My biggest complaint is that for years I've been preaching that people should tell what repeater they're on when they announce the call sign when they're signing on to a repeater. I tell them, everybody's in scan mode these days, and nobody can get to their radio or even their mic fast enough to stop the scan to find out where that call just came from. So if you would just announce what repeater you're on when you throw your first call out there, you can get a call back, and the repeaters won't be quiet all the time. People can actually yak on the repeaters if they will just tell each other which repeater they're on. I've been saying that for years, hundreds of times at least, and I've had very, very few takers or practitioners join me on that one. I think we should make it a radio law.
You know, I had never really given that much thought because I'm not one of those that typically just sets my radio to scan, but that is a very, very good point. A lot of times I will have my radio with an A side and a B side and not know which one it came out of. But that's a very good point. So for someone to check in and say, hey, this is KC5AMT on the 146.92 repeater would really be helpful to those who are scanning, because then, like you said, if it goes ahead and keeps scanning, at least the person knows, oh, I can go back to that Sakara repeater and bring that up and be able to have a conversation. So that's a very good thought. So thank you very much. So yes, definitely. Giving the repeater ID of what you're coming in on your first transmission is a great idea. So thank you very much for sharing that. So what else have you got for us today? Anything else to share?
Now, that's pretty much it.
All right, well, give us that call sign one last time so we can meet some FCC rules, and we will talk to you again next week.
LQD on the Richardson 2-meter.
I wonder if you're coming in on AllStar, you're not coming in on a repeater. How would you like that announced?
Well, if you're coming in on AllStar, typically you'll be connected to a repeater. So you would just announce that, say you're coming into this repeater, you would say, your call sign coming in via AllStar to the whatever repeater it is. That might be a good way of identifying that. So who was that just chimed in? Let's go ahead and get you checked in. This is KC5AMT Net Control.
This is K5NZ, and I'm not coming in on a repeater, but there's multiple repeaters connected to what I'm coming in on the Internet. Anyway, just interested listening here, some interesting commentary.
Okay, so do you have your node then connected to one of the repeaters, like the W5AC or the K5RWK?
No, I have it connected to another node on the Internet, which may have multiple repeaters connected to it at the same time.
Okay, well, very interesting. That's good to see. I just pulled up. We have a system where we can pull up a bubble chart to see who all is connected, and yes, there are repeaters connected to repeaters, connected to nodes, connected to other nodes. So it's a pretty wide swath that we're covering with this. So that's pretty awesome. It's always interesting to be able to see all the different connections that are associated with the net when we do it. It's kind of cool.
Well, that's my point. If you're coming in like I am and you're not using an RF link, it would be hard to announce which one you're on because you may be on 5 at the same time.
That is true, and yeah, sometimes from your independent node, you may not know what all of the other nodes are connected to, and not knowing what or how many different repeaters you might be coming out on. So you, in this particular case, you are coming into 3 different repeaters because we're simulcast on the W5NGU, the W5AC, and the K5RWK. So yeah, I can see where that could get complicated, and trying to say, hey, this is what I'm coming in through would be difficult, because in this case, you could be coming in through one of 3 repeaters.
Exactly. Anyway, carry on. Nice job, and we'll see you later. Have a good afternoon. K5NZ on the hub of W5AC.
All right, this is KC5AMT net control for the digitally speaking net, and I am operating through the 146.92 repeater, W5NGU, and it's connected, like I said a minute ago, to W5AC and K5RWK. All right, who else would like to check in? Come now with your call sign.
KC5, Yankee, call it in.
Station calling, you're pretty scratchy. I think I copied a KC5 and then it went to static. So do you want to try again?
KC5, M1I, checking in.
Okay, still pretty scratchy, so we're going to try that call sign again here in just a minute. But go ahead and share with us, what are some of your ideas on ham radio pet peeves?
KJ5, Mike Yankee India, Kilo Juliet 5, Mike Yankee India. Sorry about that, getting south of the repeater. I don't have any, pets or peeves. I'm pretty new to the industry, so having a good time checking in and listening in and joining with y'all on the nets.
Oh, very good. We're glad to have you with us. There's different types of nets. So this net we run this net way informal. And so we do our check-ins one at a time. We talk to each person individually to see what's going on in their ham radio world and pitch the question of the day kind of thing. Other nets, like you'll listen to some of the training and information nets that some of the clubs do, and they might say, we're going to take 3 check-ins at a time, and then they'll go back and talk to each of those, or they'll take those 3 check-ins, they'll say, okay, I got these 3, and then they'll take 3 more, and then they'll wait, and then they'll do like a round table and call everybody one at a time later on in the net. But then you've got the more formal nets, say a Skywarn or an Aries net, where they don't necessarily want everyone to check in. They only want you to check in if you have pertinent traffic to whatever it is that they're doing. So like on a Skywarn net, let's say you have a report to make, you might give your call sign and then wait to be acknowledged and then share the information that you have in the format that they've requested it. And then when that transmission is over, you would identify yourself so that you stay FCC compliant. And that way, since we've got that rule of every 10 minutes and at the end of your transmission, since you don't really know when your last transmission might be in a conversation, especially in that type of net, it's always best to go ahead and just give your call sign every time you're getting ready to release that push-to-talk key. So anyway, there you go. That's cool. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Tell us, so you did say you're a fairly new ham. What do you like best about it so far?
Well, so far, I got my tech probably about 4 months ago, and I've enjoyed checking in on some of the nets here off the Denton repeater. And I got my general license back in November, so I've been doing a lot of listening in. And one of my favorite nets on the HT bands has been the 3916, starting about 8 or 9 o'clock. The trivia and some of that. And we have a lot of local guys here in Denton that contribute to that. That's been a pretty fantastic time on my part.
Oh, very good. That's awesome. It's good that you participate in those nets and those kinds of things. So have you gotten familiar with the clubs that are here in the Denton County area?
I'm aware of the Denton County area ham radio club, the Dakara guys, and I would love to get involved with those, and I plan to soon. The problem is the meetings are on the same Monday nights that we have Cub Scouts, so my participation will be pretty limited, but, getting involved with good fun on my part.
Okay, well, you got a little scratchy there towards the end of that transmission, but we've got a couple of other clubs, so if you're in a spot where you can scribble some stuff down, there's a club over in the colony called the Lake Area Amateur Radio Club, and their website is k5lrk.org, and then if you're down in the Louisville area, there's a club in Louisville. It is the Louisville Amateur Radio Association, and their website is w5lvc.org. w5lvc.org. And I think, I'm looking at my calendar real quick, and I think that Louisville club, their meeting is this week. Yeah, February 17th, Tuesday night, 6:30 at Thrive, 1950 South Valley Parkway in Louisville, if you're interested in checking that out.
QSL friends, got all that, and yeah, I'm headed southbound and operating mobile away from the repeater, so I'll turn it back to you, but thanks for the contact, and I'll hit you up later.
Okay, yeah, you did get real scratchy there towards the end, so that was KJ5MYI, Keith out of Denton. So, Keith, something you might do, I'm not sure if you're working just on a handheld in your car or something, but having an external antenna, just a little mag mount outside the car would dramatically help your signal. So, anyway, holler at us sometime. We'll give you some tips and tricks, and we'd love to help you drill a hole in the roof. So, anyway, give us a holler. We look forward to hearing from you again next week. This is KC5 AMT Net Control for the Digitally Speaking Net. You did hear that quick announcement right there about the Louisville Amateur Radio Association. Their club meeting is coming up this Tuesday evening at 6:30, February 17th. So you can check them out and give them a holler. Again, that's at Thrive. That's the Louisville Recreation Center, 1950 South Valley Parkway in Louisville. All right. If you heard my phone ringing in the background, that's Peyton calling, telling me that I need to wrap the net up so that I can go pick her up, but she knows better. All right. This is KC5 AMT Net Control. Who'd like to check in next? Come now with your call sign.
Mike Mobile.
I heard a Mike Mobile.
KT5, Mike, Golf Mike, and I'm mobile.
Oh, good afternoon, and how are you doing today?
Doing all right. We just kind of hit Interstate 35 at a high rate of fuel consumption. Up here about Sanker now. So, anyways, just thought we'd jump in and say howdy. Not too much going on there, Kelly.
Well, howdy. So today's topic is ham radio pet peeves. So we're talking about repeater etiquette. We can talk about contesting etiquette. We can talk about general HF etiquette. Tell us, what is your ham radio pet peeve?
Oh, boy. I think got a couple of them, really. I mean, sometimes I get irritated. I hear these folks get on Echo Link and yell CQ, CQ, CQ about 15 times and throw their call sign out, and it's like, just throw your call sign out and go, you know. That do it on the repeater sometimes, too. And anyway, it's on a test. What's the proper way to call CQ on a repeater? Yeah, say your call sign. Anyway, I just kind of laugh about that when they start yelling CQ out there, and it's like, oh, come on. Anyway, I hear it quite a bit because I do a lot of VoIP stuff. But now, that and lids, that's about it. Anyway, that's 5MGM.
All right, Fred. Well, I appreciate that. You know, yeah, that is always, you know, when you hear someone calling CQ on a repeater through Echo Link or something like that, you kind of wonder, are they trying to be a smart aleck, or do they just not know and understand that, you know, that's not normal repeater use, that would be something you would use more for HF rather than repeater. But yeah, I can understand how that can be a pet peeve for sure. So, all right. Well, hey, thank you very much for sharing this with us. You drive safe and have a great afternoon.
Hey, Kelly, y'all have a good one. We'll be sitting there listening for a little bit. W5MGM had a lower rate of fuel consumption as the traffic is slowed down a hair. Y'all be good. That's 5MGM.
All right, and this is KC5AMT Net Control for the digitally speaking net. Who else would like to check in? Come now with your call sign.
November Victor Charlie. Good afternoon.
All right, I think I had a double there, but somebody had a Victor in their call sign. So why don't you go ahead and give me what you got? Give me your call sign again.
Every step in there, this is Kilo Juliet 5, November Victor Zulu.
All right, KJ5 NVZ. How are you doing today?
Fantastic. We're just getting out of a little storm here. It's a beautiful Sunday day today, so glad about that.
Oh, very good. So it looks like you have a fairly new call sign. Is that correct?
Yes, I've been got my technician license about a month ago now.
Very good. Congratulations. What made you decide to get a ham radio license?
You know, I've always heard about it before. I grew up next to my bus driver when I was a little kid is a ham radio operator. Carl was the coolest dude ever. And then my parents got theirs a little while later. Not too long, a couple months before I did. So I figured out, you know, now'd be the time to do it. But yeah, I just remember my bus driver. He was a ham radio operator, and he was like the coolest guy ever. So not my parents. So yeah, those two.
Very cool. So what's your favorite part of ham radio so far?
I think so far it's the fact that there's so much stuff to do, so many products there are and whatnot. You'll never really run out of stuff to do. And, you know, I have my technician license now. I'll work on getting my general. Maybe someday I'll go to amateur extra, who knows. But there's never a shortage of things that you can do. There's always something new. I love that. And also that you can use it, you know, when you need to. You can use it for leisure purposes, or, you know, when there's a storm or severe weather or natural disaster, you could use it to help your fellow man too.
That's true. All of those are great opportunities, and yeah, and there's 1,000 other little rabbit holes that you can crawl down in the ham radio hobby for sure. So anyway, have you found a local club that you like, or are you familiar with any of the clubs in the area? Do you need some information about those?
They're in a club. I don't know who yet. I took my test with the I think it's called the Richardson Wireless Club or the Richardson Club, one of the two. Very cool guys. Those guys are awesome. But I've not found a club I want to join, or that I wanted to join yet. I haven't looked into it too much until recently, but yeah, maybe just looking for some ideas there.
Okay, well, if there's anything we can do, it's pitch ideas. So, of course, there's the big club. There's the Denton County Amateur Radio Association. And if you want to scribble down some websites, I can give you those real quick. The Denton County, the big club is exactly that. It is a big club. And a lot of focus on emergency communications and that kind of stuff. The Skywarn and Aries things are very closely related to that club. Also down in the colony is the Lake Area Amateur Radio Club, and that's a really fun club that does a lot of contesting and DX work. So if you're interested in getting that upgrade to general class license, that would be a great club to help you achieve that, and then give you something to do once you get that license upgrade. And a lot of good information and stuff there. A little bit further away from you is the Louisville Amateur Radio Association. W5LVC.org is their web address. They've got a club meeting coming up this Tuesday at 6:30 at the Recreation Center there in Louisville. You can go to their website and get all of that information.
Appreciate that, and I appreciate all the help that not just the Nets have given me, but, you know, my fellow ham radio operators, you know, in and out of the dead repeaters or colony or wherever. It's been amazing. I love the support.
Very good. Hey, something you might want to know about, this coming Saturday, the Lake Area Amateur Radio Club is going to be getting together for breakfast at 8 o'clock in the morning at the Whataburger in Frisco. That's 8,000 FM 423 in Frisco. So if you want to join us for breakfast that day, you would be more than welcome to do that and get to meet some of the people and get some ideas of other ham radio activities you might be interested in.
Tell me what time that was again. I missed that. I was writing these down real quick.
Sure. That's at 8 o'clock in the morning. And, you know, if you, it's not like you have to be there at 8 o'clock in the morning, but, you know, we get together around 8 o'clock in the morning. It's the Whataburger, 8,000 FM 423 in Frisco.
Yeah, well, thanks for that. Thanks for all the information and for the upcoming meetings and whatnot. I appreciate it.
Hey, very good. Well, we're glad to have you with us. So have you been a ham radio operator long enough to develop a ham radio pet peeve?
As new as I've been, I haven't really had many complaints for it. The only thing I can think of, you know, just through talking, because I try to talk like once a day or something, is one of my first contacts is just from experience. I was talking to someone, and we were talking about I was a new, brand new amateur radio operator. This probably was my second ever contact. And we were talking about some tips and ideas. And then out of the blue, I think someone just came in and was like, "Hey guys, just so you know, it's gonna rain today." He kind of hijacked the conversation. So it was the only time where I was like, yeah, maybe that's the only pet peeve I have is just don't hijack a conversation if it's not like an emergency or something. And I get like I did it with a net by accident when I called in to get my call sign and whatnot, but accidents happen, but just don't make it blatant. I think that's my only complaint with that. Other than that, I love ham radio. It's amazing.
Oh, very good. Yeah, I understand that pet peeve very well. People who intentionally just come in and hijack a conversation or come in with a completely off-topic comment can get to be a little annoying there for sure. So, all right. So go ahead and identify yourself, and then I'm going to run on to the next person. Thanks a lot for checking in today.
So much. This is Kilo Juliet 5, November Victor Zulu, back to net.
Very good. We look forward to hearing from you again. All right. There was someone who doubled with Otto when he was checking in. So if somebody else wants to, if you want to come now with your call sign, go ahead.
Quick question, W5MGM.
Papa Charlie. Again, Kilo 5, Victor Papa Charlie. I'm through Denton repeater, the 146-920. My name is Jorge. Good afternoon. Back to you, Net Control.
Good afternoon, Jorge. It's nice to have you with us today. How are you doing?
Good, sir. I'm in Wiley. I'm from Wiley. Pulling out all the radios. And I've been around because I've been moving around, job, pulling out all this stuff. And I was scanning and found this repeater. And I'm using a 4-element Yagi 2 meters antenna. It's getting pretty good in this area. But thank you for letting me in, and that's all I have for now. Thank you. Appreciate it. Back to you, Net Control. This is Kilo 5, Victor Papa Charlie. Over.
Thank you very much for checking in, Jorge. We're glad to have you with us. And we're here every Sunday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so feel free to join us. We look forward to hearing from you again. All right, and W5MGM, I heard you were, well, somebody told me in the background that you were trying to check back in also. Go ahead.
I heard y'all talk about late for breakfast at the Whataburger there in Frisco on 423. What, is that on a Saturday morning?
Yes, sir. The third Saturday of the month, the Lake Area Amateur Radio Club gathers there at that Whataburger there in Frisco.
That was the information I needed. Thank you, Kelly. W5MGM.
My pleasure. I look forward to seeing you there. All right, this is KC5AMT Net Control with Digitally Speaking Net. Who else wants to check in? Come now with your call sign.
Hello, Charlie 4, Echo, Echo, Lima, Bentley in Savannah.
Bentley in the big city of Savannah, Texas. How are you, sir? Good to have you with us.
I'm good. Just wanted to say hello. And get on the record for being here today.
All right, sir. I have you on the record as being here, so here's the question. What is your ham radio pet peeve?
The only pet peeve I have that I could think of is when ham operators get their ticket and they don't push the PTT button. So I do everything I can to encourage them to do that. That's it, Kelly. KC4EEL, back to Net Control.
is a good pet peeve to have, because absolutely, if you're going to go through this trouble of studying and earning your ticket, passing the test, and everything else that goes with that, and then you go out and you spend the money on a radio, whether it's a $35 Bofang or a $600 Yaesu FTM 400, 500, whatever, what's the point if you're not going to use it? So, absolutely, using that push-to-talk button, sharing whatever it is on your mind with the rest of us so that we can all gather and grow together. So, thank you very much for sharing that, Bentley. All right, this is KC5AMT for the digitally speaking net. I'm sitting here. So for those of you that don't know, we have a Signal chat group that goes on in the background, and I'm probably about 30 messages behind. And they're all complaining because they are sending messages, but they're not hearing the Roadrunner beep on my phone, and they're disappointed. So that's their pet peeve for the day, is they don't hear the Roadrunner beep on my phone. Anyway, all right, let's see. Oh, I want to make an announcement. I want to go back to an announcement because this is an announcement that is extremely important. It is of the utmost importance. So everyone grab your scribble stick, your number 2 pencil, your Big Chief tablet. Saturday, March 21st at 8 a.m. is the 8th annual Go Kit Challenge. It's going to be held at the Doubletree Ranch Park in Highland Village. The address is 310 Highland Village Road. There's going to be 3 categories. There's the HF/People's Choice Award. There's a category for mobile rigs set up. And there is a 50 and over category specifically intended for technician class license operators with, primarily just VHF and UHF radio equipment in their kit. So we would love to have you come out. It's been a really fun time. This is the 8th annual. I never thought we would get this far, but hey, we're having a great time, and we have a huge turnout and a lot of fun. So please come out. If you have a kit, bring it. If you have a kit, bring it, and let us see what you have. And if you don't have a kit, but you're thinking about building one, this is an excellent opportunity for you to come out and get ideas from others and learn from ham radio operators who have already built kits to get ideas of what's going to work best for the way you like to set up your operation. So by all means, we'd love for you to come out. Everybody's invited. It's a fun event every year, so please join us. This is KC5AMT. And I'm told that there's going to be a raffle at the event, but I don't have any details other than there's a raffle. Anyway, all right. Who else would like to check in? Come now with your call sign.
Kilo Golf 5 Romeo Joliet Romeo Scott Denton.
All right, Scott in Denton. Good afternoon, and how are you today?
I am good, Kelly. I am good. I picked up the last of the trophies for the Go Kid Challenge. They are all sitting in the display case, waiting to go to new winners this year. And yeah, I have heard about the raffle, and I know what it is. I texted you on a different message, but I don't think we should say what it is, do you?
Well, I would imagine at some point we should let them know what it is, because that may be a deciding factor of whether or not they want to contribute to the raffle. But also, they might want to know what the raffle is being used to support. So we've got a couple of weeks, and we can get that information out to everybody. But yes, I'm excited about this. It's a cool thing coming from one of our guys, and it's just a really good deal.
Maybe we'll leak that information on Frank's YouTube this week. We we have to go on Tuesday night. We have to record that, and I'm not certain what day he releases that, but I think we'll just leak that information there. How's that sound? KG5RGR.
Oh, that is just genius. And Frank will love the fact that we're throwing a teaser out there. For those of you that don't know, there's a young man named Frank, and he goes by the handle Tank Radio on YouTube. So if you go to YouTube, you subscribe to Tank Radio, and you click on the notification thingy. That way it'll tell you when he's going to release the video. Scott and I are meeting with Frank Tuesday. Is that right? Tuesday to film our interview with him to promote Go Kit Challenge, and then he will edit that video and take out all of my dirty words and all of my dirty looks and all of that, and he will put that out to the public so you guys can all see it. So anyway, so Tank Radio, that's the key for that one. The big question for you now, Scott, is what is your biggest ham radio pet peeve? Please limit it to one.
Oh, man. I guess one would be a really good one that I heard one time on a repeater that was down in the Waco area as we were traveling through. And the saying goes, kerchunk, kerchunk, kerchunk. Your radio's a bunch of junk. Just kerchunking the repeater does not help the repeater. it causes some of us to turn the thing down. So, in all honesty, yeah, if you're going to key the thing up, at least throw your call sign out, right? KG5RGR.
Absolutely. In addition to it being against the FCC rules, also, it doesn't really tell you anything. The fact that you can kerchunk a repeater really doesn't do much to tell you what kind of signal quality you have and how well you're actually coming into the repeater. So by throwing your call sign out, even if all you do is say, this is KC5 AMT testing, somebody can respond and say, hey, man, you're coming into the repeater pretty good, or hey, there's a lot of static in your signal, whatever that might be. But to just kerchunk the repeater, the fact that you can key the repeater is really not that big of a deal. It's not a great accomplishment because it doesn't tell you the quality of your signal into the repeater. So anyway, good point, and thank you very much for sharing that, Scott. I appreciate it, and look forward to Tuesday night when we do our interview, and definitely look forward to when it gets released online so that people can find out all the details about this raffle for the Go Kit Challenge. And I'm so proud of Scott for limiting it to just one pet peeve. I haven't said any pet peeves because once I start, it'll just go on for like an hour. Anyway, who would like to check in next? Come now with your call sign.
Kilo Juliet 5, Lima X-Ray Sierra, Brandon, Plano.
Well, hello, Brandon. It's good to have you with us. How are you doing today?
Man, I'm partly cloudy, chance of rain. A little irritated today.
Well, yesterday was the partly cloudy and a chance of rain. In fact, there was a lot more than a chance of rain. We got almost an inch where I'm at. But anyway, so tell me, what's going on in your ham radio world? What's got you down?
Well, it circles right around to the pet peeve. My pet peeve in ham radio is being new at ham radio. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't understand a lot of this stuff. I've got this brand new stupid radio, and it worked the other day. It's not working today, and I don't know how to fix it, and it's irritating. That's my ham radio pet peeve. Luckily, I'll continue to learn, and it'll unpeeve itself, I guess. I don't know how you would say that, but being new at ham radio is my pet peeve today. KJ5LXS.
I could understand that. I've been a ham radio operator for over 30 years, and I still don't know. And I still have radios that they work today and don't work tomorrow. That's just the way life goes. The good news is you are surrounded by some really, really smart people who can help you get that thing back up and running and on target. 9 times out of 10, it's a button you bumped that you didn't realize you bumped, and it changed the setting that you didn't realize got changed. And that's 9 times out of 10, that's what it is. So reach out to some of the guys that I know you're friends with and get some of that help, because they'll get that radio squared away for you. All right, anything else for us? We did the pet peeve. Anything else you need to share with us before you go today?
Nope, that was it. That's all I got. The rest of my ham radio experiences have been very pleasant. So happy to say that. KJ5LXS, back to net control.
Very good. Thank you very much for checking in. Oh, and for those of you who don't know, he didn't say it, but he plans on winning the Go Kit Challenge next month. So just so you know, there is going to be some pretty good competition out there, if you can figure out how to make that radio work again. Anyway, all right. Thank you very much, Brandon. We'll talk to you again soon. This is KC5AMT Net Control for the Digitally Speaking Net. And who else wants to check in? Come now with your call sign.
Echo 5, Lima, Zulu Echo, Randy, and Little Elm.
Well, I typed that call sign in all kinds of wrong, so give me that call sign again and tell me what you got.
AE5LZE, Randy, and Little Elm. I was just hanging out and enjoying the sun. It's a whole lot better today than what it was yesterday, I tell you that. And I think one of my biggest pet peeves is honestly a pet, like a cat meowing in the background while you're trying to talk on the radio. That's one of my biggest pet peeves there. Back to you, K5LZ.
I could see how that would be annoying, even, especially if it's overshadowing whoever's trying to talk on the radio. That's probably what people say about this Roadrunner in the background when these guys keep sending me messages through Signal. So, anyway, well, very good. Yep, that I can understand how that could be a pet peeve for sure. So, all right. Well, anything else you care to share? Let's see. Yeah, anything else you care to share with us today?
No, other than just it's a beautiful day. Go outside and soak up some sunshine and live your life and to the fullest and just enjoy everything. That's about it. I think that wraps it up. K5LZ, back to net.
All right. Thanks, Randy. I appreciate you checking in with us today. We look forward to hearing from you again. Keep in mind, if you're interested in the Louisville Amateur Radio Association having their meeting Tuesday night over at the Rec Center. Don't forget that. So, all right, KC5AMT, Net Control for the Digitally Speaking Net. Who else wants to check in? Come now with your call sign.
N5YAI.
N5YAI. John, good afternoon, sir, and how are you?
Yeah, good afternoon, Kelly. Good to hear you and everybody that's checked in. Just been sort of copying the mail over here. I love hearing this net on Sunday afternoons, almost at Tuesdays, but Sunday afternoons, and yeah, so all's well over here. And just thinking about all the folks that are going to be on the road back from Orlando, from Hamcation this weekend with their goodies and the bargains and, all their swapping and bartering and all that stuff that went on down there. I've been watching a little bit on YouTube and actually watched till probably 3 o'clock this morning. Some of the ham radio. One fellow walks around, and I loved it because he didn't speak to anyone. He just film, 2 hours and 23 minutes of just filming. And then there was a ham radio crash course that walked around and actually spoke to a lot of people, about 2 hours and 25 minutes. So pretty good coverage there. And I heard you talking about Tank Radio. I always enjoy Tank's presentations on YouTube, and I always enjoyed visiting with him. And on the pet peeve, I'm going to go back there with like what Bentley had, folks just not having a license and having the radio and not really using it, or maybe just a random user. And I'm on the digital side. I frequent WiresX quite a bit, the Texas Nexus. And when I'm logged in on WiresX, I can see all the nodes that are connected, and I know a lot of them are repeaters. And then if I log on to the FCS Reflector, the xreflector.net, I can see all those that are logged in through their Shark open spots and hotspots. And sometimes you just never hear anyone on there. I thought, well, why don't these folks key up? But sometimes I often know that maybe the volume's turned down. They've stepped away. Because I do forget, I am not the only one in ham radio that's, I've been in ham radio since 91. Let me reset here. And there was a time in ham radio when I had a family, when I had my daughter. My daughter's fixing to be 43 years old. So, I am single, and I have a lot of time to devote to ham radio, and I realize there's a lot of folks raising families that don't have the time. So sometimes I have to remember, they might be, spending family time, but they got the radio on. Maybe the volume's turned down, or in the ham shack, the door's closed, or whatever. So anyway, that's part of my pet peeve. I don't know. I'm trying to get more etiquette-wise, courtesy of giving time in between key downs, because sometimes I can get my ADHD can kick in, and I get fired up when I'm in here, as you can tell now. And boy, I hear somebody and I want to jump in there and say something. So I try to have to sort of Elmer my own self and say, pause for the cause. Let's allow 4 to 6 seconds in between keys. Anyway, that's it for me. Looking forward to seeing everybody at the fourth Monday. That'll be the Dakara meeting. And a few of us will probably go over to a little place and have dinner before the meeting. So anyway, that's it, Kelly, and I appreciate what you're doing. N5YAI, back to net.
Well, thank you very much for sharing that. Yeah, every once in a while I'll get on. We've got a deal in the background here where we can tell what nodes are connected to some of the different repeaters that we're involved with. And like today, I looked at it a minute ago, and what was it? We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There's 22 nodes connected today to our net. And it's really cool to see and know how many people are involved and just how far our reach goes as far as this net is concerned. But yeah, a lot of folks they'll have their nodes turned on and connected, but they're doing other things and taking care of other business. So, but yeah, I can understand that. So, all right. You mentioned Hamcation, so let me talk about Hamfest coming up. Okay, this Friday and Saturday is the Greater Houston Hamfest. That is in Rosenberg, Texas. It starts Friday at noon, and from noon to 6, and then Saturday from 8 to 3. It is at the Fort Bend County Fairgrounds, and it's sponsored by the Brazos Valley Amateur Radio Club. So if you're interested in that, let me give you the website. It is HoustonHamfest.org. HoustonHamfest.org. All right, the other Hamfest I want you to mark your calendars for is Saturday, March 7th. This is the Irving Hamfest. It is from 8 a.m. until 2 p.m. It is at the Betcha Bingo Hall, 2420 West Irving Boulevard, Irving Amateur Radio Club, IrvingARC.org, IrvingARC.org. So put those two Hamfests on your calendar. Well, if you want to make that trip down to Houston, there's that one. Irving, definitely let's make a trip over to Irving. It'll be a lot of fun. It'll be good to see a lot of people there, so look forward to that. Okay, this is KC5 AMT Net Control with the digitally speaking net. Who wants to check in next? Come now with your call sign.
Kilo X-Ray 7, Tango Foxtrot. Sean Denton on the 9-2.
Oh, Sean, I am so glad to hear you check in. Do you know why?
Why is that?
I need someone to cover the net for about a minute and a half, and you are it. So, why don't you tell everyone your pet peeve, and because I need you to take over for a minute, you can go with more than one. I'll see you in a second. KC5 AMT.
Oh, that is so rude, Kelly. All right, well, my biggest pet peeve, and I'm just going to go with the biggest one, not the whole list. The biggest one for me is people don't listen to the radio. You know what I mean by that is people turn on the radio, hear the frequency they want to, and start talking. You need to listen. Listen. We're great talkers as ham radio operators, and most of us generally don't listen first. You can get a lot of information just by listening first. So, that's my biggest one. Take it how you will. Stop being so eager to press the big button. Listen first, then talk. Communication works two ways. Another question he's going to ask is, what have I done in ham radio? I did photo activation yesterday, and lessons were learned. And if you want to know what those lessons were, go check out my YouTube page. I'll have a video about that either coming today or tomorrow. Let me reset before I give you that. That YouTube channel of mine is WTF.Reydio. That's WTF.Reydio. And I get all kinds of videos up there about some random stuff and how to put AllStar on your phone and stuff like that. So, just because you don't have AllStar radio or AllStar capabilities, not an excuse. And yeah, I'm talking to somebody specific. Also, we do stream this on the YouTube channel. Also on TikTok. We're having fun chats back and forth on that. So come check that out. And I appreciate all the support you guys give for those channels and for this net by checking in every week to the Digitally Speaking Net. We appreciate that. And I want to see if Kelly has returned. KC5 AMT, are you back?
All right, KC5 AMT, I am back, and thank you very much for covering for me, Sean. You're awesome.
I do what I can to help you. And did I cover everything you were going to ask, or did I miss something?
I don't know. I was in another room.
Okay, then we'll just say, yes, I covered everything. So, KX7 WTF. Back to you, Kelly.
Thanks a lot, Sean. And I'm sure you had a great pet peeve to share. When we get to the end of the net, after everybody else turns off, then I'm going to share my pet peeves and see how many. I just didn't want to make everybody mad at the beginning of the net. All right. KC5 AMT Net Control with the Digitally Speaking Net. Who wants to check in next? Come now with your call sign.
AG5YM. I'm sorry. I totally lost it there. AG5Y. AG5 AG5YM, Travis.
M.
Not sure if you came in. AG5YM, Travis.
Well, there we go, Travis. Good afternoon, and how are you doing today?
Obviously, I'm having problems pushing the button and getting my mouth to move at the same time, so I apologize for that. But I'm doing pretty good. Just listening in. I enjoy listening to this. I wanted to go back to your last person there. And what was the website or the YouTube channel that you were talking about?
Oh, that was Sean. And Sean's YouTube channel is WTF.Reydio, and he spells it like his last name. His last name is Reyes, so it's Reydio. Actually, let me just call him. Sean, go ahead and tell us that information again, please.
Yeah, I can do that. This is KX7WTF. The YouTube channel you're looking for, sir, is WTF.Reydio. Whiskey Tango Foxtrot .REYDIO.
Thank you very much. I know you were going to ask about pet peeves, and my problem is that it's, again, like somebody else, mine is that I get so inundated with different things that I keep looking at, so I guess my ADHD kicks in, and I just feel like I'm never getting anywhere I want to go, and not getting my radios programmed and things like that. So really, truly, it's more just with me, like that one of the other people had talked about earlier. Over.
I tell you what, that ADD, doing half a project and then going to do something else and never getting back to the other one to get it finished, I can relate. Or just putting it off indefinitely, I can relate to that too. So, yep, I understand completely. And yeah, it's kind of frustrating when you get to where you've got 3 half-done projects on your bench and nothing is completely finished the way you want it to be. And anyway, yeah, so I'm with you 100%. I agree. So very good. Well, thank you for sharing that. Anything else you got to share with us?
I wanted to tell you how much I appreciated you explaining the repeater a little bit earlier about the fact that keying up and it going off and doing the testing and all that. I wondered why I would hear people halfway through their call sign and everything, and I appreciate you telling me so that I understand it. So hopefully I won't be doing that anymore. So other than that, that's pretty much it. I really enjoy the group here listening in, and I'm looking forward to, I'm thinking I'm going to try to make that Tuesday night meeting you were talking about, and I appreciate it. AG5YM, back to the net. Thank you.
Thank you very much, John. I appreciate you checking in with us. And yeah, that meeting is down in Louisville this Tuesday at the Louisville Recreation Center. 1950 South Valley Parkway, and they start at 6:30 in the evening. They got to start a little bit early because the Recreation Center closes and kicks them all out. So they got to make sure they've got their meeting wrapped up before then. So, all right. So 6:30, 1950 South Valley Parkway for the Louisville Amateur Radio Association. All right. Who else wants to check in? Come now with your call sign.
Kilo Juliet 5, Lima Lima Oscar.
AJ5 LLO. Good afternoon, and how are you doing today?
Doing really good. Enjoying my Sunday. It's very nice outside. I regret not taking my radio outside, my HF rig, and doing some CQs and stuff like that. But it's really nice, and enjoying the Sunday and enjoying the conversation. Back to you.
you. And, I had thought earlier today about taking my Go Kit and going out to a park or something and doing the net from a remote site. But then it was, when I was thinking about it, it was cloudy and dark and windy, and I thought, no, I'll just stay home and do this. And now it's bright and sunny and beautiful outside, and I kind of wish I had gone. So today's topic is pet peeves. So now you haven't been an operator too long, but you've probably been around long enough to find a pet peeve or two. So why don't you share? Do you have a pet peeve for ham radio yet?
Well, that's a good question. I think overall, in terms of ham radio, I don't have any complaints except for I wish I had a little bit more time to finish projects like the other gentleman was actually saying earlier. I think there's a lot of stuff to do, and when you actually go through a rabbit hole, I wish I had more time to actually take care of that. And there's a bunch of different modes that you really like, and a lot of stuff you can actually do that. I think dividing the time, I think that's actually the challenge. Dividing time and taking one thing at a step at a time. So you don't actually get burned or you lose interest on completing that task. I think that's it. Back to you.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Edgar. And remember, at the end of your transmission, you need to go ahead and drop the call sign to us to keep the FCC happy. So go ahead and give us that call sign, and then we'll go grab a next check-in.
Copy that. Thanks for the reminder. But, hey, 73, thanks for running the net. Have a good weekend. And 73, everybody, this is Kilo Juliet 5, Lima Oscar. Back to you, net control.
Excellent sign-off. I like that. All right. This is KC5 AMT net control for the digitally speaking net. Who else wants to check in? Come now with your call sign.
Q5MKC, Pops, Kilo Yankee, Glenn, located in Richardson, sitting on the couch, holding it down. I don't want it to float to the ceiling. Back to you, Ned.
All right, so we started off with a double, and Glenn was the clear winner. So, Glenn, give me your call sign again, buddy.
Kilo Juliet 5, Golf Kilo Yankee.
Oh, very good. Well, we're glad to have you with us today. So we're talking about ham radio pet peeves. Do you got one?
I guess the only thing I would say is those people who jump in the middle of a conversation with a non-subject matter of what you're discussing. Back to you.
Yep, I can understand that. You and a friend are having a conversation, and somebody else cuts in with something completely off topic, and kind of tries to take over the conversation. I can understand that. So I'm looking here, and it looks like you got your license just a few months ago, maybe. What got you decided to get into ham radio?
Well, I got a bio thing like every new member does, and I listened to it for, I guess, about 6 months. I didn't get on it. I just listened. I decided I wanted to go ahead and get online and talk, so I ended up studying and went down and took my test there at the Richardson Wireless Club, became a member. And since then I've expanded. The only thing happens when you get licensed, everything expands and you end up with more radios. Then I got a GMRS license, and I really enjoy GMRS. It is so much more busy than the 2-meter. for the 70 centimeter. And we got a really great club here in Richardson and Dallas and Garland. It's just around 1,300 members.
Okay, yeah, that Richardson Club has been a great supporter for us and allowing us. So I operate off of the 146.92 repeater up in Denton, but we're blessed with the opportunity to be connected via AllStar to the K5RWK repeater and the W5AC repeater down in College Station. So it's really fun to be able to bring so many people from so many areas of Texas together to do this net on Sunday.
Well, digitally speaking, I've enjoyed the K5RWK Fusion repeater working here, and I love the digital networks that way. Clearest audio, talk anywhere in the world. Yeah, I just love it. That's really about all I got there. I'm going to return it back to you. KJ5GKY here. Kilo Juliet 5. Golf Kilo Yankee.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, Jim. We really do appreciate it, and we look forward to hearing from you again. Just so you know, this net is every Sunday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so feel free to join us. All right, this is KC5AMT Net Control with the Digitally Speaking Net. Who else wants to check in? Come now with your call sign.
K5NKC, Pops.
Hey, Pops, go ahead and give me that call sign again. I got Kilo 5. Was it Mike, Kilo, Charlie?
Kilo Juliet 5, November Kilo Charlie.
All right, very good. Well, we're glad to have you with us. What can we tell us what's going on in your ham radio world today?
Today, I took advantage of the niceness, and I did go to a park. I got a new G90 a couple of weeks ago. I took it out last weekend for the first time. Made 5 contacts and went out today, and I was having a heck of a time. I could see all the beautiful waterfalls and everything. I couldn't make heads or tails out of whatever anybody was saying. So, as the gentleman before me just said, a matter of fact, he saved my life. I called up the Mighty 600 out there in Dallas, the GMRS, and Glenn, who I believe that was the one that was just talking, said, "Pops, you're probably on the wrong mode." He told me what to press, and come to find out when I looked at it, I was on AM. I switched it on over to single sideband, and my first contact was the Bahamas. So I got a Bahama call, I got a California call, I got somebody from New York today, so that was kind of fun.
Very good. Well, all right. Well, tell us, what is your ham radio pet peeve?
I think I'm too new to really have one. I've had my license for about 2 months now. Lot of learning. One thing that kind of confused me was I figured a radio was a radio was a radio. I mean, as far as communication. And then when I got into ham, I realized you've got all these different, frequencies, and you've got like UHF, VHF, HF, and you need different radios for everything. That part gets a little frustrating. But I'm having fun buying stuff. I just bought my wife some new furniture yesterday for our new house, so I guess that's going to be my excuse for me to get my 7300 now. I said, hey, you spent $2,000 in furniture. I can spend $1,000 on a new radio for the house. So every time I buy something new, I have to buy the wife something as well. So that's what I have to do. I've got a friend of mine that's the same way with guns. He'll take her to go and
buy something, from, something poofy from a boutique store, and that gives him the excuse to go buy a new firearm. So, all right, well, very good. Anything else you got to share with us today?
I want to come out there. You're doing a great job on the net today, and I just want to thank everybody for being so patient with an old man out there and helping me learn this stuff. Everybody on both the ham and the GMRS side have been very, very helpful, and it's just been a real pleasure to meet some really, really good quality people, and I love the hobby. So I'm looking forward to learning more and keeping it going. So that's it for me. I'll turn it over to you and let someone else take over the frequency.
Okay, well, hey, anytime you're in a net situation, at the end of your last transmission, you got to give your call sign. That's one of those nasty little FCC rules, so go ahead and shoot that call sign to us one more time, and then we'll take it back to the next person.
Thanks for the hit. It's going to be Kilo Juliet 5, November Kilo Charlie, and we're going to be clear.
All right, thank you very much. All right, just doing a little quick housekeeping on the computer to make sure I keep myself straight. All right, this is KC5 AMT Net Control with Digitally Speaking Net. I want to make another announcement because this announcement is important. It is so very important. So write this down. It is time again for the 8th annual Go Kit Challenge, Saturday, March 21st, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. That is a rain or shine event. We'll be giving out prizes around noonish, somewhere in that time frame. You get to vote on who the best Go Kits are. We have 3 categories. There's the HF category, the People's Choice. Then we have the mobile category. And then we have a 50 and over category. And no, that doesn't mean it's only for the older hams. It is a 50 and over for the technician class license, so 50 megahertz and over. So we wanted to set that aside because we want those new ham radio operators that just have a technician class license to have a little motivation to be able to participate in the Go Kit Challenge. So the purpose of the Go Kit Challenge isn't so much to win the challenge or to get the most votes. The real goal of the Go Kit Challenge is for people to learn and share with one another so that we can make our Go Kits better, so that we can better perform our duties, if necessary, to be able to provide communication. So anyway, address, Doubletree Ranch Park, Highland Village. The address is 310 Highland Village Road. So again, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., prizes around noon, March 21st. Look forward to seeing you there.
5RGR recheck.
Yes, sir, go ahead.
I was going to say, for the guys that are into GMRS and the other radio out there, Go Kit Challenge has not only always had people that were ham radio operators attend. We had a gentleman that showed up with a fantastic vehicle. He had no ham radio license, but this vehicle was just decked to the nines. I mean, absolutely fantastic. And the next year he showed up with a ham radio license. It was phenomenal. KG5RGS.
And if you're curious about what made it so fantastic, that vehicle had a built-in tent and a grill so we could cook food. That's what made it so great. Anyway, all right, thanks for sharing that, Scott. And yes, even if you don't have a ham radio license, you're welcome to come out and join us and be a part of the group and get ideas of what you can do when you do get your ham radio license. So very good. Thank you for sharing that, Scott. All right, KC5 AMT Net Control for the Digitally Speaking Net. Who else wants to check in? Come now with your call sign.
Is 0JRJ.
Did I copy N0JRJ? Is that correct?
correct. November 0, Juliet, Romeo, Juliet. Name is George. Here in Lake Dallas.
Okay, well, very good, George. We're glad to have you with us. Yeah, when I pulled your call sign up, it said Florida, and I was like, wait, am I correct? So anyway, hey, we're glad to have you with us. You new to the area?
Oh, I'm staying with my daughter right now. Be here for a while and helping out around the house. I'm retired. And I just want to jump in and say hello to everybody. My pet peeve is people that kerchunk the repeater without giving a call sign. Over.
That is a good pet peeve. And right now, I think that one's on top as the most common pet peeve is the kerchunking the repeater. So, all right. Well, hey, while you're here in the area, we got a couple of cool clubs real close to where you are. This Tuesday at the Louisville Recreation Center, just south of the bridge where you are, is the Louisville Amateur Radio Association Club meeting. The address there is 1950 South Valley Parkway. It's the Thrive, the recreation center for the city of Louisville, and they meet starting at 6:30 in the evening if you want to check that out. And also there is the Denton County Amateur Radio Association. They meet up there in Denton, and that is on the 4th Monday of the month. And you can look them up. dcara.net is the web address to find out what all is going on there. So we're glad to have you with us. We're here on this repeater every Sunday starting at 2 o'clock till about 4 o'clock. And we'd love to have you continue to join us as long as you're staying with us.
Roger that. Thank you very much for the information. And what I'm doing, I should be out in the sun like everybody else said, but I'm sitting in front of the computer trying to program a new Radtail RT950 Pro, and that's what I'm talking on now. From indoors with the stock antenna, and I'm just wondering if it was clear or if I'm scratchy or what. Over.
So you are coming in just fine, perfectly readable. There's a little, how do you say it? There's air in your signal, if that makes any sense at all. So you're there, but there's this haze, I guess you could say, in the background of your voice. But you're coming in loud and clear and perfectly readable.
Okay, roger that. Well, I appreciate it, and it looks like I'm starting to figure this thing out. I hated it first, but it just takes getting used to, you know. I've been in it a long time, and it's always interesting to get a new radio and mess around with it. So, having said that, I'll say hi to everybody, 73s, and enjoy your day. Back to net control. This is N0JRJ.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for calling us, and we look forward to hearing from you again. All right, KC5 AMT, net control for the digitally speaking net. Who else wants to check in? Come now with your call sign.
Kilo Juliet 5, November Tango Alpha.
Oh, KJ5, November Tango Alpha. Good afternoon. How are you doing today?
Good afternoon, Joe Ed from Far North Dallas. Thanks for running the net. It's been a pretty calm weekend, just really enjoying the weather. Haven't done much in ham radio, at least this past week, just enjoying the 2-meter and 70-centimeter nets all the way around the DFW area. Back to you.
Very good. We're glad to have you with us. So I noticed by your call sign that you're a pretty new ham. So a couple of things for you. What made you decide to put forth the effort to get a ham radio license?
More of the ability to reach out to people out there and be able to communicate. I know the internet has somewhat normalized that nowadays, but it's still fascinated that you can do that through radio waves, and it's just an exciting hobby. It seems like there's always something out there to learn. So yeah, I'm excited to be part of it, and again, thanks for running the net. Signing out, KJ5NTA.
All right, very good. Well, thank you very much for checking in. Hey, I just want to make sure you're aware. I'm looking for the information. Oh, the Richardson Wireless Club. Not sure if you're a member over there or not, but you might check those guys out. K5RWK.org is their website, K5RWK.org. Good club over there, and they get together for lunches on Wednesdays. They do the third Saturday of the month. They get together for breakfast. So check out their website and see what they got going on. It's a good club.
Yes, sir. I'm a member of that club and the Dallas Club, and been there for a couple of their lunches, and it's a fun group. Back to you.
Very good. All right. Well, thank you very much for coming back to us, and thank you very much for participating in our net. We really do appreciate it. All right, KC5 AMT net control for the digitally speaking net. Who's next?
Hello, India 5, Romeo, Sierra X-Ray, David.
Good afternoon, David. How are you doing?
Woke up on the wrong side of the bed and got a chest pain, but we're taking care of it one patch at a time. Cat5RSX.
Okay, that sounds like a big deal to me. The wrong side of the bed I can handle. The other part makes me concerned. You okay, buddy?
Yeah, it's something I go through every maybe 3 months or so, and it's called pleurisy, where your lung separates from your rib cage from coughing too hard. Apparently, my wife said I coughed too hard last night and woke up with this booger, so I've got my cayenne pepper and castor oil patch on my chest, and it should be better by tomorrow.
Okay, that's a good thing that it'll be better by tomorrow. You take care of yourself and be safe. That sounds like a big deal to me, but I'm not familiar with it. So, okay. So, all right, let's go to the ham radio stuff. What kind of ham radio stuff have you been up to, and what is your biggest ham radio pet peeve?
Go with the pet peeve. I haven't been doing a whole lot in ham radio. Cruising around in the truck, doing HF, practicing Morse code. But my biggest pet peeve is going to be testing your equipment before activating. I can't tell you how many mountains I've climbed just to get up to the top of the mountain, and batteries are dead, or your antenna breaks, or just catastrophic failures at the time that you need it the most. So that's my biggest pet peeve. KF5RSX.
Oh, yes. Thank you very much for sharing that. Yeah, knowing that your equipment works before you need it is a very critical thing. And I thought you were going to go with the Aries Skywarn thing, and that is the number of people who, once a net is activated or the page goes out for a Skywarn or an Aries activation, and then they're saying, KC5AMT testing, am I making the repeater? That is not the time to be checking to see if your equipment is working. You should already know that through routine testing and using your repeater through the week. You're using your radio through the week and knowing that kind of stuff. Dead batteries are a little bit different because, you let them sit for a while. But yeah, I mean, if you're getting ready to go on a weekend hike or something, you certainly want to make sure that your equipment is reliable and prepared for the trek ahead. So thank you very much for sharing that. That is a very, very good point. So, all right. KC5AMT Net Control. Who wants to check in next? Come now with your call sign. Ooh, it looks like we might be getting close to the end here. All right. Make your notes. February 20th and 21st, if you're looking for a weekend road trip, the Houston Ham Fest in Rosenberg, Texas, at the Fort Bend County Fairgrounds, HoustonHamFest.org, if you want more information about that. And make sure you put down on your calendar March 7th from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Betcha Bingo Hall. The Irving Amateur Radio Club will be having their Ham Fest, so by all means check that out. Their website, irvingarc.org. irvingarc.org. Okay, let's see. What else do we need to talk about? I don't know. Let's see if we got anybody else that wants to check in. Come now with your call sign.
Chaos IDQ, Great Strength.
Oh, that was way too fast. You're going to have to slow that down. Go ahead and give me your call sign phonetically, please.
Maybe a little unfamiliar, too. Kilowatt India 5 Delta Quebec from Sherman, Texas.
Oh, much better. KI5DQ. I like that call sign. That DQ at the end just makes me hungry. So, anyway, how are you doing? And tell me, how are you coming into our repeater? Because you are all the way in Sherman, and we are all the way either in Denton or in Richardson.
Good afternoon, everybody. James here from Sherman, Texas, Grayson County. Almost at the river. Next, I'm going directly into 146.320. Direct FM contact. Got a nice antenna up here. I Google actually I asked her a while back what the PL tone was, no reply, so anything will tip. We need to keep the IM window open.
Oh, Jim, that signal was coming in strong there for a little bit, but the longer you talked, the weaker it got. So an interesting thing we have here, I had mentioned at the very beginning of the net that we have several remote receive sites for the 146.92 repeater, and we've got a device where we can tell what remote receive site you're coming in through. So when you first started, you were coming in through our site over in Ralston, Texas, and then as your signal degraded, it clicked over to Frisco for just a minute, then it went back to Ralston, then to the main site before it dropped you completely. So anyway, very good. Glad you were able to reach out. That's pretty awesome. So it was very good. Why don't you try again? Let's see if we can get you one more time.
Okay, this might be a tad bit better. Since you mentioned that, I had my transceiver at 3 watts. 3 watts. That's why I faded away a little bit. But now it's about 50 watts. I'm not sure. The other thing, direct contact up that way with the antenna. Cap IDQ.
I tell you what, that must be a really amazing antenna setup that you have, because I heard you say that you were hitting us with 3 watts. So that is amazing. So well, thank you very much for calling us. We really appreciate it. Just so you know, our net starts every Sunday around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and we usually run till around 4 o'clock or whenever people get tired of talking to me or listening to me talk, one of the two. So, but we're glad to have you with us, and thank you very much for checking in.
Hey, you're most welcome. Yeah, if anything, quick note or suggestion, someone please keep your NetLogger IM port open, because I asked, about 10, 15 minutes ago, what the PL tone was for the repeater, someone replied, and I used Google, so look it up. 110.3. You know what, thank you for
All right. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm notorious for not having my AIM window open all the time when I'm using it. I use it mostly to do the I use it mostly just to do the check-ins and keep track of that. So anyway, we're glad to have you with us, and we look forward to you checking in with us again.
Definitely. I support the net best I can. I'm sure we all do. Share some tech tips, whatnot. But, yeah, I use NetLogger quite a lot, and usually have my keyboard open for stuff like that. Anyway, thanks for y'all. Yeah, but
All right, that was pretty cool. For those of you who don't think you got what it takes to get your signal out there, man, Jim just gave us a prime example of being able to shoot a signal from Sherman all the way into Denton to be able to hit the repeater. And yeah, it got a little scratchy there towards the end, but he was only using 3 watts. So what if he had bumped that power up to 20 or 25 watts, something like that? He would have been, full quieting into the repeater, whatever remote receive site was picking him up. So anyway, and that was another cool thing, is being able to go and look and see what remote receive site he was coming in from and seeing how his signal would bounce. And that voter that's at the main site was able to take whichever signal was the strongest and most reliable and retransmit that one for us to hear. So anyway, awesome system you've got up there, Jim. Very impressed. All right, KC5 AMT net control for the digitally speaking net. Who else would like to check in? Come now with your call sign.
Echo 5, Kilo Delta Golf in Godley, Texas.
Oh, wow. Kilo Echo 5, Kilo Delta Golf in Godley. Good afternoon, and how are you doing? Now we're just trying to see who can hit the repeater from the furthest away, aren't we?
Absolutely. I've been listening to you guys here for the last hour or so here in the garage, and just thought I'd see if this would reach far enough, and apparently it does.
It does. So to give you an idea, your signal was coming in through our Roston remote receiver site. Now, our Roston site is, the antenna is 1,750 feet above ground level in Roston. So it's on a very huge tower. So, yeah, you made the trip, though. Very good and full quieting coming in. So what we're talking about, of course, is ham radio pet peeves. Tell me yours.
I guess as I get older, my pet peeve is guys giving their call sign maybe too quick and maybe not being able to hear exactly what they're saying, or, like I say, speaking too fast.
Yes, I agree completely, especially if you're serving as a net control operator. You're trying to type or write down call signs so that you can keep a log of what's going on when they go too fast, or even, if you've got a call sign that has confusing letters, so you've got M's and N's, or you've got J's and K's, those kind of things can really not come through clearly on the radio. And then especially if you quick key the radio to where the first couple letters of your call sign get cut off, that creates a problem as well. So absolutely, yes. Slowly and phonetically on that first call, and then after that, once everybody's familiar, then yeah, you can throw them out a little bit faster and that kind of thing. But yeah, that first shot needs to be slow, phonetic. That way everybody can clearly understand what you're saying. So very good. Thanks for sharing that. Anything else you want to share with us?
I agree with you 100%, and no, I don't have anything else to share. Just thought I'd like to give a try and see how far this would reach on a good, nice sunny day. I appreciate listening to you guys. KE5, KDG, clear.
Oh, that is awesome. Well, thank you very much for calling us today. I really appreciate it. And again, this net's here every Sunday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We look forward to hearing from you again. So, all right. Hey, we're getting close to that 4 o'clock hour. And I know the guys all get excited when we push one another over that 4 o'clock. So I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there one more time. Who else wants to check in? Come now with your call sign.
Kilo Foxtrot 5, Lima Delta Juliet.
Hey, Michael. Good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Just trying to get over whatever crud I got this weekend, and looking at Sean's live stream that he's seen on TikTok, and seeing Lee's picture out there. My goodness, I miss Lee. But just check in and say hello, and how's everybody doing? KF5LJ.
Very good. Well, we're glad to have you join us. So we're talking today about ham radio pet peeve. You're only allowed to share one. So what is your ham radio pet peeve?
Man, I didn't know it was going to be a bad ham net. Hi. Just joking. One of my biggest ham radio pet peeves is not letting people, giving them the grace to learn. A lot of times, well, this is the way it is, this is, blah, blah, blah. But give them a chance to learn things. And that's what I really miss about Lee was we built a battery box together, and it was a horrible battery box, but he always pushed on me to be the creative one doing that. And that's something we need to learn how to do more as hams, is to let people learn and encourage them. Don't discourage them. Don't tell them how high and mighty you are because you have more knowledge, because you didn't have that knowledge until you got into the hobby and somebody took you under your wing, or took you under their wing and helped you out. So that's my biggest pet peeve in ham radio, is there's so much to learn, and there's so many great things you can do with it. Honestly, it's a secondary hobby that helps so much else out. And it's a great hobby. I just wish people will be more helpful than being sand hams. This is KF5LJ, back to that.
Thanks, Michael. I appreciate you sharing that. That's one of the things that I always worry about as whether I'm doing this net or doing other things on the radio, and trying to correct or coach new hams and making sure that they understand I'm not trying to be rude, I'm not trying to be obnoxious, I'm not trying to be the radio police, so to speak, but, hoping to serve as more of a coach and a mentor to help them, fall into that ham radio culture and, whether it's the flow of the repeater or the flow of a net, whatever it is, to make sure that, I communicate, hey, I'm not trying to kick you just because, but that, I'm trying to teach, out of love and respect and not offend. So, yeah, I agree with that. So, a lot of grace. All right. Thank you very much. KC5 AMT Net Control for the Digitally Speaking Net. We've made it to 402, so the other hosts are all excited because they've pushed me over the limit. So anybody else want to check in? Come now with your call sign.
Kilo Juliet 5, Lima X-Ray Sierra, recheck.
All right, you better have a good reason to be rechecking me at 4:02 in the afternoon.
It's an etiquette question. I was driving home from lunch today, and a few blocks away from me, I noticed someone had a huge, massive antenna. Is it appropriate for me to go over to his house and knock on his door and introduce myself, or not? KJ5LXS.
That is a very good question. I don't know. I don't think I would appreciate it initially. I would be very suspect of anyone knocking on my door. Now, what you could do is go to the FCC ham radio license database, and you can actually enter in and search by address and see if it might be someone that you already know and do it that way. But I don't know. I mean, if you happen to see them outside mowing the grass and you stop and say, hey, man, I saw your antenna back there in the backyard. I wanted to stop and say, hi, my name is blah, blah, blah. Then that might spark a good conversation. I don't know about knocking on the door. We need to make that a topic of conversation sometime to see what other people think, because I think that would be an interesting question to ask.
Well, I thought it was a good question. My wife told me I should not go over to his house and knock on his door, but I was like, how am I supposed to make new friends if I don't go over to their house? KJ5LXS, back to net.
Well, if you search him out on the database and you find out his name, you can knock on the door, and when his wife answers the phone, you can ask, hey, can Johnny come out and play ham radio? And see where that conversation goes. So anyway, good luck with that, and we'll have to see. That would be a good breakfast conversation to have. So, all right, thank you very much. This is KC5 AMT Net Control. We've made it to 404. How far are you guys going to push me on this net today? KC5 AMT. Who wants to check in next?
5 RGR recheck.
All right, now you're just pulling my leg. Go ahead. What you got, Scott?
Brandon brought up a really, really good one here, and I know we've already lost Richardson and College Station here, but I will say I have experienced exactly what Brandon was talking about. I had a neighbor that he and his wife were walking by, and multiple times we've had people in the neighborhood that we were out there working on radios or working on stuff in the driveway, and they stopped, wanted to talk because they were members of CERT. And, yeah, I'm not going to say go knock on the door, but by all means, if you see they have ham radio gear, you definitely want to talk. And, yeah, there was a neighbor of Ken's that, through me, found out that Ken was the guy down the street with the big antenna. KG5RGR.
Yeah, I think the idea, if they're outside and you just happen to see them, the garage door's open and they're out there fiddling, you walk up to them and start a conversation that way. I think that would be cool. I don't know. I just worry about going up and knocking on someone's door, and they may not answer you with a radio in their hand. I guess that's my thought. But anyway, thank you very much, Scott. I appreciate that. All right, anybody else want to check in? Come now with your call sign.
X7 WTF.Reydio.
You guys are killing me. Go ahead, Sean.
Well, I got two things. One, I did pop this question over to YouTube, and I'm actually getting another answer to this. If you see them outside, of course, approach with caution, but, go say hi if they're outside, if you see them outside. Somebody else popped in there, drop a note. Either drop a note, drop a card on their door, on their car or whatever, and just, leave your contact information. Just let them know, hey, I'm interested in ham radio, or hey, I'm a ham operator too, here's my call sign. Something like that. Might be a little safer venue to do it that way.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea to, especially if it's just a residential neighborhood where walking up to the door isn't a really long trek. I know some of the places that I see out as I'm driving around the county, and it's like there's a quarter of a mile road, or a quarter of a mile driveway to get to the house, but you're like, man, they've got like 6 towers in the backyard, and you really want to go talk to them, but you're like, yeah, I'm not crossing that fence line. No way. So, yeah, I understand. But, yeah, that wouldn't be a bad way to do it, is to just, stick a note on the door or something like that.
Also, one other thing I was going to add to that is, did you mention Keith's photo at all?
Yeah, I mentioned it a couple of times through the net, but I will mention it again just to keep it fresh on everybody's mind. T-SPOTA starts Friday, April 17th, 7 p.m. Central Time, and runs through Sunday, April 19th, 7 p.m. Central Time. And for all the details of that is tspota.com, .org, I'm sorry. Or some people are saying it's tspota.org, or tspota.org, or tspota.org, or Texas State Parks on the Air. So check that out. Yeah, April 17th through the 19th. All right. Does anybody else want to make me go a little bit longer? Does anyone know what the record longest digitally speaking? Does anybody know what the longest digitally speaking net has been? I'm just curious.
G5RJR.
G5RJR, go ahead.
I was going to say, okay, Alex, that's 3 hours and 30 minutes. 3 hours, 30 minutes. Yes, I was ANCS for that. KG5RJR.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be making a trip out to Decatur to pick up Peyton this evening, so I don't think I want to go for the 3 hour and 30-minute record. We'll have to do that some other time. So, all right, guys. Hey, I really appreciate everyone that checked in today. I think we had a really good net. I enjoyed it a lot. Kelly's biggest pet peeve, the list is long. Failure to identify. So I understand that the law says we notify every 10 minutes and at the end of our transmission. So when you're in a net situation at the end of your statement, whatever, you give your call sign in case net control doesn't come back to you. My deal is at the beginning of the conversation. Now, there's people who are on the radio all the time and you just recognize their voices and it's not that big of a deal. But I really like to hear those call signs at the beginning of your transmission so we know who we're talking to and that kind of thing. And we know that it's actually a licensed ham radio operator that we're talking to. So anyway, that's just one of my pet peeves. So there you go. All right. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this net up. But if you ever want to be the net control operator for this net, please feel free to reach out to us. Our email address is, hold on, digitalleespeaking@gmail.com. Digital, L-E-E, speaking.com, or at gmail.com. You can reach out to us that way. All right. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and shut everything down. I know the other repeaters have already dropped off on AllStar, so it's just the W5NGU repeater out of Denton that we're on. But thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you, Dakara, for allowing us the use of this repeater, and we really do appreciate it. This is KC5AMT. I am clear, returning the repeater to its normal amateur radio use. Y'all have a great day.